after a black person is shot in the black community by a police officer is it doesn't end there. What tends to follow is a reverberation of anger, a reverberation of rage, a reverberation of being, of however you react to being dehumanized. And it goes throughout the entire community. There's a reason why we're here. And that is to challenge your community and question you if you believe this neighborhood is welcoming the black folks. Think about that right now. We're gonna quickly march. We're gonna come back here. We're gonna have a community forum for about an hour or less. And I wanna hear from you what you actually feel about this community. And if you live outside of this community, answer the question, is your community welcoming the black folks?
Say his name! Say his name! Say his name! Say his name! When I say Kenosha, you say we got your back. Kenosha! 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 Kenosha!
I'm 16 and I'm out here fighting for my life. I guess a lot of you can walk out of here and your life is not in danger. This is something you get to do on the side. A lot of us here, we don't get to leave. This is our everyday. I'm 16 years old, and from when I was this big, I've been told that I'm not valuable and that I'm not important because of the color of my skin and my gender. So I'm out here fighting so that I can be equal like many of you. So I've been hearing that a lot of people would say that we shouldn't be looting and we shouldn't be rioting. But why is it our job to respond with peace when they kill us? Why is it our job to respond with calm when they are murdering us day in and day out?
When I asked you a question, what somebody said earlier, does that resonate with you to have to, like, when we're being murdered, should the response be to knock on doors and wait to vote?
I would say no, because
why not?
We've been trying to knock on doors. I go to a predominantly white school, and let me just say, asking people to, I don't know, make my life matter doesn't do anything because it doesn't affect them. I can go to school and I can get threatened. Well, I have gone to school, my life has gotten threatened, and every single day when we go to administration, they say, we're taking care of it, we're handling it. But if they're really handling it, why do we have black men and women being gunned down in the street?
Come on, boots! Boots! Boots on the ground! We're here! We're here! To shut this shit down! Louder! Boots! Boots! Boots on the ground! We're here! To shut this shit down! Louder! Boots!
How do you see the citizens being treated here, and how does that make you feel?
It's not right. Like as a soldier, if I'm gonna raise my weapon at somebody, that's the last time it happens. And there's a tactical patience. You have to understand what the fuck you're about to do. You're about to end somebody's life. That shit is not taken lightly. You have to take everything into account. Who's behind them, left, right, side, who's innocent, who's wrong, even though that can be hard to do. And here, that doesn't happen.
Do you see the police taking those same measures?
Fuck no. No, like, I'm sorry for saying that. Like, watching that video and having veteran friends, there's a lot of people that are very, if we want to say far right, they're very like, well, he was reaching for a gun, he's doing this, they're all, like, I bet you he's not a saint. Like, fucking, who cares if he's not a saint? He's a fucking person. You don't hold their shirt. As he looks like he's trying to fling, that's where tactical patience, that's where your fucking training steps in, and you step back and go, I don't know what he's doing, but I'm going to give it that time. That time because he's a person, he deserves that time. I'm not judge, jury, and executioner. I need to watch what he's going to do, and then I'm going to make that jump and what I have to do. He wasn't in danger. He's holding the guy from the back and then executed him. And that's the thing that's fucking making me mad is you got to come home and you got to see this shit. I can't do that overseas. Because like I said, somebody who's shooting at me, I better be able to see their eyes and the round coming at me before I do what I got to do. But here, no, shit, he looks scary. Fuck him. Like, that's crazy. Okay. That's fucking crazy.
You may not feel it, see it, or hear it right now, and that could be because of your power, rank, and privilege to not have to. But the brown and black people in this neighborhood, including myself who lives around here, we've been seeing it the whole damn time. And we're here to say enough is enough. We're not going to stand for it any longer. Cordell! Cordell! Jacob Blake! Jacob Blake!
You know, I grew up with a foster mom who fought in the civil rights, and she was always like, no, be you. Don't stop being you, whatever you do. So the amount of times where I would go outside and think, you know, it's perfectly okay for me to sit there and do my yard work or take out the dog or something without a shirt on because it's hot. I've gotten the cops called on me. I've gotten them called on me just for sitting outside my house, drinking and hanging out with my friends, and I've gotten searched and beat up just because I've walked down the street with my hood up, not wanting to deal with anybody. And it all just comes down to the fact of, instead of sitting there and taking the time to understand what's going on with that person, whether it be a mental health thing that they have, which I myself do, or a social anxiety thing, what have you, instead of just automatically assuming they're there to do something wrong or that kind of a thing, maybe talk to them. The amount of times I've had someone just talk, even just a little bit, to figure out what was going on, I can count on this hand.
The second that black folks, poor folks, brown folks, indigenous folks, unhoused folks start doing something, they call it in. They call the National Guard in. And when a lot of white men showed up heavily armed to detest shelter in place, National Guard wasn't there either. You have to start questioning these narratives in your city. This is really backwards.
Now, had that been a black person that shot and killed a white man, what do y'all think would have happened? He would have been locked up. He would have been charged. He thrown far into the water, and it's just not the same. And so when you say, how about you guys do this way and that way, we've been doing it this way and that way. We're not getting any further. When we start showing our ass, then that's when people want to take notice and take heed to what's going on, and then they want to half-ass act like they care. And they still don't.
Are the police, is the city council, is the mayor, is the governor ever going to make systemic change enough that people will trust the police department and not have to show up to the streets to demand change? I think that's the real question. Whose streets?
Our streets!
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 When Derek Chauvin put his knee on the neck of George Floyd for 8 excruciating minutes, that was lawlessness. When the cop shot Jacob Blake in the back 7 times, that was lawlessness. When Philando Castile was shot with a little baby in the back seat, just like Jacob Blake, that was lawlessness. We cannot continue to accept lawlessness from those who are supposed to uphold law and order.
If we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace!
for too long, a lot of these protests and marches and rallies have been going on in Minneapolis for good reason, but not enough of them have been coming to neighborhoods that benefit economically on the backs of poor, vulnerable people that have been continuously exposed, exploited, and turned away from our leadership, such as Mayor Fry, such as Lisa Bender. This next half of the march is for every single person in an encampment that has been turned away, disenfranchised, destabilized, and dismissed.
We've been out these encampments all summer long, 3 days a week. I have a small Honda Civic, and I'm piloting it every day. I care so much every day about the people down there who have nothing. Today I was down there, dropped off 25 pizzas to MLK Park, to the encampment. Nope, I don't want the applause. I want to see you out there with me. I want to feel our community needs community. Reach out to my organization directly, please. I will get boots on the ground for everyone out here. You speak about dollars and cents, put them in my hands. I'll make sure that they are given to everyone in these communities. I don't care. That's what I went through growing up as a kid. I was in those tents at one point in my life, and now we have a home. My 3 kids are blessed, over there in their 50s, not hurt by any of this bullshit. Every day, I wake up wondering who's not eating, what kid is hurt, where are blankets and sheets at, who doesn't have diapers and wipes, why don't they have hot food, why don't they have water? It's frustrating to me, and I'm doing this out of a damn Honda Civic. And some of y'all got big trucks, got access to all types of things. Please help me help those.
Please.
When you're treated like less than human for a day, that can be traumatizing. When you're treated as less than human for a year, that can change your life. When you're treated as less than human for your entire life, you might start to believe it. When you're treated as less than human for generations, it just might make you snap. You might want to show the city that has held you down with their knee on your neck, literally and figuratively, for so long, how you feel. And the question that we need to be asking is, why did we need to take to the streets for you to start to say, Black Lives Matter?
In 2016, Target put out a public statement that they were going to put resources towards civil injustice. I don't think they did. But after their stores got looted, shit got burned down, they were forced to say something. And when you said we have to go and knock on doors, how do we knock on the doors of Target and make them listen to us? You know, I'm not supporting it, but time and time again, we got places like Walmart, Target, Facebook. Just big companies now had to step up and say something, because if they didn't, their shit was getting burned down. Starbucks, at first they said that they couldn't wear Black Lives Matter things on their uniforms. Everyone's like, fuck Starbucks, we're not going. Then they're like, actually, never mind, you can. So I agree that no, they don't need to be burned and looted, but if their money's not getting messed with, they don't give a fuck. So in some way, I agree that there are more positive, constructive ways to do that, but then it goes back to, as Toussaint was saying, the civil unrest. Shit, it's hard to stay positive when you're mad, when you're scared, when you're angry, and that's what it turns into. So just bigger picture, if it's not messing with their pockets, corporate America doesn't care. We gotta do what we gotta do.
Home streets, our streets. Home streets, our streets. Home streets, our streets. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. No justice, no peace.
This performative white guilt, I'm not here for it. I'm really not here for it at all. And I never will be. Because the comfort's over. We're not going backwards. This conversation is going to be brought full and frontal to your face. The discomfort you feel right now, that's all right.
Yes, sir.
You ain't gonna die.
Right.
They ain't gonna kneel on your neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. So for the white folks here, you need to hold your constituents accountable, very accountable. Like, have this conversation for the rest of your lives. Not just at Thanksgiving, not just for an awkward day on a Sunday. Keep having it. This should not be happening.
You can join us if you're watching right now from your household. You can join us right now with March for Black Lives Matter. You can join us right now. You don't have to stay passive. You can jump out right now and march with us.
We have a duty to fight for our freedom.
We have a duty to fight for our freedom.
We have a duty to win.
We have a duty to win.
We must love and support one another.
We must love and support one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
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 All power to the people, y'all.
All power to the people. Come on, boots, boots, boots on the